according to a report from Bloomberg, Apple is now spending about $1 billion per year to develop its own generative AI capabilities. So this investment comes as Apple is playing catch up to all the other big tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, all of whom have released a bunch of AI products and features. Now, Apple products, make no mistake, they use AI a lot. Like your iPhone relies on many types of artificial intelligence to do what it does, but they don't have a dedicated generative AI product like ChatGPT just yet. Now, there have been past reports that they have built their own large language model, which is known as Ajax. And there are rumors that Apple has an internal chatbot known as Apple GPT. According to Bloomberg, Apple might start looking to incorporate AI into Siri, Messages, and Apple Music to start. So, Paul, I know you follow Apple very, very closely. Can you give us a sense of how Apple has approached AI up until this moment?
Yeah, they don't talk about it. So Apple is extremely advanced with AI. They build their own chips. They have, probably hundreds of AI features in iPhones and Watch and the iPad and Macs and like it's an AI company. They just for whatever reason historically never talk about. Um that's first and foremost. They make massive investments. Contextually, though, I think it's important because it's like always like you have to understand the broader implications. $1 billion sounds like a lot of money to people. That is like less, it's probably like 3% of their R&D budget. If I'm doing my math in my head correctly. I think in 2002 they spent over 26 billion on R&D. So my initial feeling is a billion is not enough. Now, because of how they classify things, the other 26 billion likely has all kinds of AI tied to it. Like when they're building products, they don't build them without doing machine learning and deep learning. But they just don't classify it that way. So I don't know. Contextually, my first reaction was a billion's nothing to Apple. Um, the other thing I think about though is like I wonder if they aren't forced to change their messaging soon. So I'm actually curious because they have an event tonight. So again, this is October 30th. We're recording this. There's an event tonight called "Scary Fast" is the theme of the event, and I think it's going to be related to chips, like their
Mhm.
silicon chips, um, and the processing speed and the efficiency, energy efficiency, and things like that. But there's rumors there might be some other stuff that's talked about. It's an unusual time. They don't usually do like 5 p.m. I think it's a 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time event, which is highly unusual for Apple. So again, maybe they'll do something. But historically, they just embed it within and they don't even tell you it's there.
Yeah.
So again, their chips. One of the great examples to me is photos. Like, you can go into Apple Photos on your phone and search for any image or any time or place or person, and it just shows up, like magically shows up. Well, they've been using AI for years to enable that, and they don't even talk about it. Versus Google, which is running ads right now, showing how you can take a series of photos and it'll magically pick the best face, the best smile of each person in the photo and replace them all into a single photo. So it's like stitching the
Hmm.
photo together using AI. And they tell you it's using AI. So Apple is a very stealthy AI powerhouse. They don't publish their research. Their people rarely have public personas. So they don't have people who are out, active on Twitter. Apple itself is barely active on Twitter. Like it's, they just quietly go about their business building smarter products and they just work and they seem like magic. I don't know that they can do that moving forward. Like I keep
Hmm.
waiting for them to all of a sudden start talking about AI. And I don't know. Well, interested to see if it happens this fall.
So, talking about generative AI capabilities and products specifically, can Apple catch up at this point? The space moves so fast and the other players have made such huge moves. I'm wondering how you see how far behind they are, if at all.
Well, they definitely, I mean, the article you're referring to said they got caught flat footed.
Mhm.
Which is, again, I'm just still shocked by how unprepared Google and Apple and these other companies were for the ChatGPT moment. Like it's really shocking to me. I still can't quite process it, knowing all the AI researchers they had and access to this stuff that they had. Um, but I think that was my initial take on where they were, And then I think where they go is like I don't know that anything but Siri matters. Like they're gonna infuse it into, I assume, into like Keynote. Like we use Keynote. You and I are both fans of Apple Keynote. We use that product. You could see it put into a bunch of different products, but if they don't make Siri smarter, it's just like one of the great misses in business history.
Mhm.
Because like even we'll talk about in a couple minutes my experience using the voice conversation in ChatGPT over the weekend. And it's gotten pretty good, like, to have a conversation. You can do the same thing with Inflection Pi, you can just talk to the AI. Well, that's what Siri was supposed to be.
Mhm.
So, again, I all the stuff that Apple does, unless they make Siri what it was supposed to be, it's just a massive miss on their part, and so I gotta guess that they're working on that.
So Siri is really the game-changing opportunity that they have when it comes to actually doing something very meaningful publicly with Gen AI.
Well, yeah, because it's infused into everything. So imagine being able to like talk to your computer and say, oh, open up this application, take this thing,
Mhm.
do this action, like talk to your computer. The same thing with your phone, like not just again getting weather and scores and your calendar for the day, but having a conversation with it, finding out, having it do tasks for you that you don't have to set the rules for. Like right now, you can
Mhm.
do things in your iPhone, but you have to set all the rules yourself. Like just have that conversation into your iPad, your watch, the Vision Pro, like every product they have
Mhm.
made so much better from a consumer experience standpoint if you could just talk to them. And they know that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way that isn't the thing that they're trying to solve.
Mhm.